Get your films on with the Blurs.
Once an idea has taken hold of the brain, it's almost impossible to eradicate.
Unpacking movies has never been more spot on, woke, fire, and just plain lit.
They are lit all the time.
So if you're unsure whether or not to plop down some cash for a film, check out the Blurs.
When a man with a 45 meets a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
You really only need to hang mean bastards. But mean bastards, you need to hang.
Don't say you weren't warned. Ridiculous. Here's Brandon and Jeff.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 193 of the Film Blurred. I'm Brandon Norwood.
And I'm Jeff Stewart.
And today we're joined by a special guest. Please introduce yourself, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Rife. I am a film critic as well.
We're here to talk about 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple by Miss Nia DaCosta. And I'm very glad that both Nia and Chloe have been vindicated after their recent Marvel runs. Because they both got kind of thrown under the bus and they both came back out. Well, Nia came out with 2 movies back to back, and Chloe has Spielberg winning awards and Spielberg standing behind her. She's collecting her awards, looking on like a proud father. I'm just like, wow, man. Kevin, that's a bad look on you, my guy.
So Marvel is pretty much the ex-boyfriend, right? And now they have their glow-ups, right? After their Marvel debacles.
They've moved on.
Right, they've moved on, and they've gone on. They've got better partners now.
Yes. Well, you mentioned Nia DaCosta having 2 movies out this year. I love the duality of Nia DaCosta, that she'll do Hedda and then she'll do 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, back to back. I honestly, I love her. I was so excited when I found out she was doing this movie.
I was just speaking with Jeff about Hedda because he hasn't seen it yet, but we're talking about friendships because, there's one friend where this guy shows up to the estate and she points the gun at him and starts firing at his feet. And Jeff's like, yeah, you're no friend of mine if you start shooting a gun at me. So just to get in a brief synopsis before we dive right in, this takes place immediately after 28 years. Spike is in a living hell going around with the Jimmies as Sir Jimmy Crystal is just reveling in all kinds of depravity. And meanwhile, Ray Fiennes, whose character's name escapes me right now, is slowly working with Samson, turning Samson back to human, which is crazy. So, Katie, why don't you go ahead and just dive right in?
Well, this movie, to me, what I actually really like this about it. It sort of felt like a side adventure from the main plot that started with 28 Years Later with Spike. Like you were saying, Spike's in it, but he's not the main character for a lot of it. It's actually Dr. Ian Kelson. That's Ray Fiennes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. So he's the main character for a lot of it, honestly, and as is, like you said, Sir Lord Jimmy, who we find out is from the very beginning of 28 Years Later. There's a cold open with a kid watching Teletubbies, and then his dad is the village, I guess, preacher, whatever you want to call it.
I think they call it a vicar.
A vicar, there you go. And and the basically the rage virus goes down in this opening sequence. So we kind of leave that kid for a while, but now in this movie we find out that he grows up to be Sir Lord Jimmy Satanic Torture. Satanic Torture Priest? Again? Vicar? Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and so at the end of the last one, right, the Jimmies show up and they're silly, sort of, right? But we have no idea what's going on. In this one, in the first 5 minutes, it gave me the vibe of imagine the Droogs in the post-apocalyptic world, right? Mm-hmm. Just these young people with no rules just going at it. Mm-hmm. And that was the energy I got. It was very menacing.
Yeah, and there's this added element too. Like, people always say that these 28 Days, Years Later's movies are very British culturally, and there's an added element in this one where the Jimmies dress like and wear hair like Jimmy Savile, who was a TV presenter in England, very popular, had a show called Jim Will Fix It, was like a beloved, like, sort of figure in England, and then turned out to be a child abuser, like very, like, deep, disgusting child abuser.
I mean, that's a great documentary. I never put that together, that they looked like Jimmy Savile, and now that's wow.
I actually asked Nia about that because I went to a Q&A for Hedda, and she stuck around, and she's such a lovely person. And I specifically asked her, like, hey, did you guys really base this off of Jimmy Savile? And she's just like, yes and no. Like, the look of them, yes, but, like, specifically we tried for obvious reasons to not lean too hard into that.
Sure, but, like, for British people, they're gonna see it. It's just gonna be like another layer of depravity on top of this, really extreme story, which is, like, pretty hardcore, I think.
Yeah, and it's ironic too, because I was thinking about this last night. Like, this series has really revolved around, like, people and their parents. Like, when Jim wakes up out of his coma, the first thing he does is he goes to see his parents, and he finds his parents dead in the bedroom. Hannah and Brendan Gleeson all throughout the first one. The second one, you got the two kids coming back to England, and how their dad, played by Robert Carlyle, keeps failing them. You have Jimmy and Spike kind of mirroring each other through these two movies on how their fathers have completely just failed them both in different ways. Because I was telling Jeff, I was like, man, I hope Spike never goes back home. Like, Spike should just stay out. It's really interesting how Alex Garland centers this around parenthood and children, this whole series. So I'm interested to see how the next one plays out and if they're going to continue this. Because the one thing that was also on my mind is, like, Aaron Kellyman's character, which we'll get into later.
And, I don't want to give us any spoilers, but just bouncing off of what you said, if it's this whole entire series is about, adolescence and growing up and then relationships with parents, it's going to be an interesting dynamic if we do get the third one.
Yes, because we...
Right.
And me and you, we had a lot of questions about that because it's 28 years later. And...
I'm just doing the math.
And I'm like, wait, why is this person so young? I'm like... I know we all know Jim and we all know blank. I'm gonna edit that out. We all know blank and blank were pretty romantically involved by the end of. So it's funny that I was like, oh, you guys took your time having your child, and he's it's an inverse of what we usually see because he's a nurturing person to this. I thought that was interesting, but we'll get more into that later with a spoiler warning.
Yeah, like it's and you said this last night, Brandon. This movie makes the last movie better, but I was thinking about it even more. This movie makes the entire series better, right? And I love the first one, right? But unlike a lot of these franchise films, this one makes the whole entire series feel like an actual story, right? Even the second one, which I will defend up until but halfway through the second act, right? I'll defend the second one up until then.
Look, they retconned it They
Yeah.
retconned it in the opening titles in the last movie. They're like, yeah, we fought it back, and it's back in the UK. And I was just like, I get it. You guys want, want to disconnect yourselves.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but elements the more interesting elements of 2 are fully realized in this one. And it's Nia did it with this. I'm sorry, she did her thing with this one.
Yeah, like I was talking about her 2 modes earlier. There's something that she did in this that she also did in Candyman. Like she does these personal projects and then she does these horror franchises. She did this in Candyman also, but I really, really like, she has this like amazing ability you'll have this like kind of like dark story, like a horror film, and she'll pull way back to show like the beauty of the landscape in which it's happening. Like in this film, there's a shot, the bone temple of the title starts in the middle and it's like a drone shot and it goes all the way up to reveal this like beautiful pattern. And I was like, damn, she's so good at that.
I think the one thing I like about this is it feels like she carried over Danny's stylistic choices, but much more subdued. Because that was my main problem with the last one. It was just like, I wanted Danny Boyle to calm the fuck down. I'm like, dude, relax. Like the infrared shit, the World War I shit, the iPhone camera rig where Jeff pointed out it was just bullet time. You know what I mean? I was just
there
like,
was so much bullet time in the last one, and it was like the camera was like a fly around people's faces, and I was like, okay, Danny Boyle, we know you. That's your thing. We get it. Like,
right, and she this was stylized just enough where I was just like, thank you, Nia, for just carrying over the style in a much more subdued way, because she uses the canted Dutch angles that he does, the high angles, the landscape shots that Danny does. I'm like, thank God. And it kind of makes me wish that she was going to do this last one instead of Danny.
Honestly, it makes me wish that she had done, the one before this, right?
Yeah.
Because to bounce off what you said, Danny Boyle made an art piece with the 28 years later, right? He wanted to show us that he's still an artist. For something like this, I didn't want an artist, I wanted a storyteller. Right? Yeah.
And I mean, I think my other problem with the first one, before we get back to this one, was like, everybody in the industry was telling me, who I know in the industry, read the script, was like, it's one of the best scripts ever written, and yada, yada, yada. And when I'm seeing the movie, I walked out and I was like, I didn't hate it, but I was just like, guys, it was a really well told coming of age story. Like, you guys hyped it up to make it like this next level thing. And then watching it again after that, now having my expectations in check, I was like, I like it. But for me, this is what the Bone Temple is, what I expected from the last one, because this one does so much more with the characters, and especially Ray Fiennes was my favorite character from the last one. And the fact that like he is center stage in this, and we're in the Bone Temple, which is like one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen in a movie. I'm like, I wish I could live in that place. Like, that is awesome.
Yeah, like, I was thinking afterwards, after the movie, I was like, I hope they had their rap party inside the Bone Temple. Build that whole thing, you might as well use it, you know?
And I hope that Ray Fiennes did the whole entire act again. But like
Iron Maiden.
The Iron Maiden dance again.
So Katie, all the times I've been coming to press screenings, this is one of the rare times where a critic screenings erupted in applause, because I wanted to, and when other people did, I was like, yes, I will too.
Yeah, exact same. I was surprised that people were clapping, but I was pleased. I was like, yeah, that's right, he did it.
Because that was awesome. I was like, this is the craziest. Yeah, like this whole movie from top to bottom, like it's slower than the last one, but there's so much more going on, and it's just a collision course between a man of life and a man of death. And I really think that's probably why I like it much more, is just because you got that yin and yang on a collision course. And like, even when they have their first interaction, they're sitting there and Jimmy doesn't know what to expect from this guy. And Ian's just like, yo, you're just another dude. And he sees right through him. Like when he tells him, like when he turns, because, you know, Jimmy turns on a dime where he's like, you know, I'm going to pull out your intestines. He just looks at him like, yeah, I kind of expected that. He's like, all right, like, what do you want, man?
He's like, all my friends want to pull out my intestines.
Truly, right? Because let's get into that, because that whole entire relationship between the Doctor and Samson was so unexpected, right?
Yes.
And honestly, I could have watched, if that was the entire movie, I honestly would have been happy with that, right? Like, it's just them sitting around getting high and meditating on what it means to be human, right? Like this, because he's not a zombie, right? It's rage-infected individual, right? And you know, this Doctor just chilling out, being calm people. That was beautiful. That was a beautiful aspect of the film for me.
Well, Katie, what'd you think of the needle drops?
Oh, the needle drops were fun. This was another like great example of, I think, like style being in the service of character, because we have all these needle drops from, you know, a lot of like iconic British bands, and they're all from the records that Ian has in his bunker. And like, you know, they were cool needle drops. They fit well with the imagery, but also they said something about his character, which is namely that like these records that he has, they're kind of his link to the past, and they're kind of keeping him sane, and they're giving him, like, they're reminding him that humanity is worth saving, I think.
I definitely agree with you there. One of the things that threw me off was the first needle drop, which was Ordinary World, because, you know, this is a Danny Boyle, you know, he has his hands in it. And I was like, oh, this was used in a Danny Boyle adjacent movie with Layer Cake. And it was used so well in the Layer Cake, but it was also used so well here. So I thought that was pretty cool. But like, I agree, like all the needle drops, I was like, this is great use of iconic songs that I've heard a million times.
This movie made me realize how much I love Radiohead.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I'm a millennial. A little Radiohead gets. I'm like,
yeah, it's like, okay, all right, well, you got me. Okay, let's do this.
Because everything in its right place. That was used in the opening of Vanilla Sky, right?
I would have had to have seen Vanilla Sky more than once at 20 years ago on DVD to be able to tell you that, but I'm going to say go ahead, yeah.
I knew they used it where he was running around Times Square when it was empty. I can't remember what Radiohead. I think it was that, but like again, when it pops up, like we've heard this song in movies before, but it's I'm like, yeah, this is why Nia's, to me, one of the most exciting filmmakers working today, because she just, every time I see a movie, I'm like, you make everything work like clockwork.
Yeah. This movie, surprisingly, not as violent as the series has usually been, but when there is violence, it is so extreme and so graphic that it's. I was watching, because you know Brandon doesn't really do gore, right? And just like watching, I was watching him to see, like, all right, how's he gonna react? Because I'm feeling some kind of way, right? Because when they're doing the charity, that was
intense.
Yeah.
That's not what got me. What got me was the artery at the beginning, where I was just like,
yeah,
oh man,
yeah.
And they're just like, haha, that's her artery. Yeah.
yeah.
and it shouldn't be funny, but it's funny, right?
There's a lot like that in this movie, though. This movie had a lot of little funny bits. A lot of them
Yes.
coming from Dr. Ian. I really feel like having his record collection has given him a good attitude on this whole apocalypse situation, because there's some really funny moments, and one of them, I mean, it's thrilling and it's cool too, but like the scene that we sort of referenced earlier, the Iron Maiden scene where he lip syncs Number of the Beast for these little like feral Satanist children. That scene was funny, especially in the context of it. And I
Right.
think that speaks to something that we were talking about earlier, is that I really feel like, Nia DaCosta, she used the style. She is exquisite with the camera work and the needle drops. It's all done very well. Every clockwork, like you said. But I think that she did show restraint in a lot of ways, in smart ways. For the purposes that this is a more story and character driven chapter in the series.
One thing I was hoping is somebody would help out Spike, because it got to a point where I was like, this is a kid, man, and like you like this kid. I was just waiting because Jimmy is gonna. I was like, when is he going to? I had a feeling he was gonna kill him at some point in this movie, just because Jimmy's just insane. And like the thing that really stuck out for me, the one part is when they're doing their sacrifices and he lets the pregnant lady escape, and rightfully so. And he's like, hey, please help me. And she just punches him. And I'm like, I get it. You're pissed about what's going on. But also, this is a fucking little kid. And he's literally begging you, like, please help me. And I was just like, yeah, somebody needs to like do right by this kid. And I really feel that's why I really love Erin Kellyman's character, because her character has so much history with so little. I really like how her mind works, where she sees something and she's like, okay, how can I turn this to my advantage? And because she clearly is only along for the ride because she knows there's nothing else out there, and at least I can ride this out until I can find an opening to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
For me, I couldn't tell if she was like you said, just along for the ride, or if she was a true believer, right? Because she did have that string of kindness in her, but she's been with Jimmy for so long, and she's had opportunities to kill him and has not, because he even mentions that. Right, so like it, and that's going to be an interesting aspect for the next movie, right? Like, is she just a survivor or is she a believer?
I mean, I get where she's coming from though, because she was outnumbered until they started like falling by the wayside throughout this movie in various different ways.
I mean, is it safer just to be in a group rather than to be on your own, even if the group is very dangerous?
Yeah, that's what I got from it. Is exactly what Katie said. It's just like she's
right, but like
just trying to survive.
It's that sort of ambiguousness to it that makes the character interesting, because like, yes, safety in numbers, but also, we're kind of going through this right now. How long can you be in this group before you actually have to stand up?
I was thinking about that. Like,
right?
like Jimmy's a cult of personality, and people just latch on to cults of personality, and just like cults of personality abusing power, whatever power they have. Like, I was thinking about the parallels about what's going on here. Yeah, eventually they cannibalize each other. Yeah, that's
right. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic for this. We're going to get a third movie. It's got to happen. I'm pulling to existence.
Oh, it's got to. Like, they set it up with the spoiler that we vaguely alluded to earlier.
Right.
They're definitely going to make another one, and this felt like a middle chapter too, just in terms of like the pacing and the storytelling and stuff.
That's the thing is, like, if we didn't get another one, I would be satisfied, where I'd be like, okay, well, it's a cliffhanger, but at least the cliffhanger's not, too crazy like the last one, where I'm like, okay, where are we going here? Like, I can clearly see where we can go, but like if we didn't, I'd be like, well, at least I'm still satisfied with what we got. But they showed it to normies, and ever since they showed it to normies like a few weeks ago, they were like, okay, yeah, we gotta greenlight the third one. And judging by the critics' reaction, because I was a critic screening, I just very rarely do you have a critic screening where we have applause breaks.
Yeah, almost never.
Multiple.
I was surprised.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to dive into, Katie, before we get into spoilers?
Well, there's something I kind of wanted to add with talking about Samson and Dr. Ian. That whole theme of like trying to find the humanity that's still within, this rage zombie, the rage virus, it kind of reminded me of in some of George Romero's later like Of the Dead movies. You start seeing that theme, but in those movies the zombies are like evolving independently of humanity and kind of like replacing humanity. And they're treating the theme a little different here in a way that I thought was cool, where it's more about relocating their humanity than like evolving past it or taking over.
I agree with you. I agree with you there. Jeff pointed this out last night. He said that, they're treating the rage virus now more as a mental illness, because that's how Dr. Ian's treating him. Like as a mental patient rather than like a sickness. I thought that was
right.
Yeah.
Right, because we all
cliche.
Right, because we forget because we forget that these aren't your typical zombies, right? These aren't zombies at all, right? They're all alive. Right? They're not dead. They're just super aggro.
Yeah.
Super aggro, definitely.
I think Samson is also going to be the key for the next movie, and I'll save why I think that for spoilers, because I think it's pretty obvious. Like somebody else is going to. There's another scientist that's going to do something with Samson to open Britain back up to the world.
I mean, do we want to get into spoilers or?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yo, listen, y'all. If you're listening up until this point, pause it. Please go see it, because I like the less you know, the better. This movie's amazing, and if you've seen it, I guess which spoiler should we get into first?
I just before I forget to mention this, that one scene where the doctor is about to inject Samson for the last time, and he just goes moon. It broke my fucking heart, right? And I was like, oh my God, it worked. It fucking worked.
He's still in there.
Right? Sorry, I just had to say that. I just had to say that. But I guess we just start from the start at the end, right? Like the biggest thing, the biggest spoiler is the return.
Jim, of Jim. Cillian Murphy as Jim, just a benevolent dad teaching his daughter history. And I was just like, okay, Naomi Harris and Jim had a daughter. She seems like a preteen, so I was like, this is 28 years later after the first one. I'm like, man, y'all been together for this long and y'all just had a kid. I was just like, that's crazy. But also, where's Hannah?
I mean, maybe she has her own farm, right?
That's true.
We don't know.
True.
But yeah, doing the math on the train is like, all right, so so this kid's like at least 15. And I know they were probably fucking during there, but they probably were spending the first 10 years just fortifying the location. I get that, right?
I understand the hesitation to want to reproduce in this world. It's hard enough without having a baby to deal with.
And I loved the fact, and I knew this was conscious, but not overt, that the lesson that Jim is giving to his daughter is about World War I and II, right? And the socioeconomics of it, and it's like, huh, strangely relevant, but I don't think they were trying to be on the nose about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's Alex Garland, baby. I adore him as a writer, like, so much. I really do love, though, when Aaron Kellyman's character and Spike are running from a whole horde of infected, where his daughter's like, "Hey, we're gonna help them, right?" And he hesitates for a moment, like, and then he's just like,
"Yeah, of course we are."
"Oh yeah." I love that. I was like, okay, so humanity is starting to creep its way back into this series,
Right?
very slowly.
After like the low point of the Jimmies and how just absolutely they're sick. They have no respect for life, like, at all.
Yeah. He takes pleasure in the suffering. That's what's crazy.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
he enjoys it.
And but his backstory when he's sitting down with the doctor and he's explaining his own pathology, right? That scene in the church with his father, it doesn't make him sympathetic, but it makes him a more three-dimensional villain, right? Because oh yeah, if my dad let in a horde of zombies or rage infected to the church to kill my whole entire family and leave me in the floorboards, I'd be kind of messed up too. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And his dad was, Team God, so he went the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Telling him it's Judgment Day. I am happy. Judgment Day is upon us. I'm like, dude, I get it. You're a priest, but damn, bro, like, even priests have survival modes.
Yeah, but like, we don't know what kind of priest he was, so like it made that character much more interesting. I like the best parts and actually the scariest parts of this movie are the more quiet parts where people are just having conversations, right?
Yeah, in the house where they're saying, "Oh, we're here to have dinner. Like, we're your guests." Yeah.
Or even the doctor sitting like when the doctor falls asleep next to Samson, right? When he takes like, "No, don't do that." Right? Like it's these quiet moments that pack so much tension. That's where this is a masterful film.
Yo, that part led to one of the biggest laughs where he's just like, "Oh, my head's still attached." When he finally comes back too.
I mean, he's so comfortable with death. He doesn't. If it wasn't, he'd be like, meh,
Right.
Yeah.
He says at one point, like, my work is done. Like, he doesn't care if he lives anymore because his work is done.
Yeah. That was right when he was spoiler where he was dying, and I was like, damn, man, he's not going to be in the next one. That's the one thing that bummed me out. I was just like, man, it's such a good character.
I hated his death for me, but I loved it for the story, right? Like, that's we can't keep carrying, and that's the problem we have with a lot of these franchises. We keep on carrying characters into these films, it's like the next installments that really serve no purpose besides being there for fan service, right? So me as a person is like, yeah, I wish the doctor, I hope he shows up in the third one. He's like, doing his little Iron Maiden dance.
I do love his reasoning too, though, like where Spike asked him, like, why'd you do that? And he's just like, you suffered enough. I was just like, oh, that touched me, man. Or he's just like, you've been through enough, man.
A movie with skulls being ripped off of bodies should not be this tender, right?
And
yet,
yeah, I really feel like it's a movie about, like, reclaiming humanity, like coming back to humanity from this absolute low point of, like, violence and sadism.
I'm very eager to know what the next one's gonna be, like how they're going to put the period on this. I don't think it's gonna be the period for this franchise, but just the period for, you know,
this story.
This story, right? Because I guarantee you, if this next one is good and it makes money, they're probably gonna circle back around and do 28 months later. You know. Like, yeah, or sequel. They could do a sequel after this because, well, I guess let's get into the other spoiler, which is Samson's obviously the cure for the rage virus now that he's been awakened.
No, like I don't think he's the cure. I just think that he is testament that there is a cure because, you know, it was just the combination of the doctor tranking the guy, right, and allowing his mind to settle, and the psychiatric drugs he gave him to sort of give him clarity.
Well, music therapy too.
Right. Well, yeah, all the stuff like his talk therapy, right, worked. This is funded by Big Therapy, the big right. Like this is brought to you by BetterHelp. But yeah, no. So I don't think the cure is in his blood. I just think that now we have an effective treatment, but the only person who knew about that effective treatment is dead.
Well, go ahead, Katie.
Oh, but his journal. Yeah, I forgot about the journal.
Say, like, okay, one, we built this amazing bone temple set. We must, gotta use it.
Right.
But, like, that makes me feel like they have to come back to the bone temple because, yeah, the answer is inside Dr. Ian's bunker in his journal. We see him taking notes. He wrote down, like, what he gave Samson.
And I think Samson's lucid enough to probably try it himself now. Because now that he's already been infected, he can't be reinfected.
Right.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because when he walks out of the train, right, and we think that he's all right, like he's reinfected, and he comes, and another fucking tender moment when he picks up the doctor. I'm sorry, my voice cracked. All right? And lays him to rest. And it's like, oh, man, this is a buddy film. This is about friendship.
It is. There is like a cute little buddy movie in the middle of this very violent zombie movie.
So yeah, okay. So I forgot about the journal. Yes, okay. So this third one is going to be wild.
My only thing is I hope at least Naomi Harris comes back. Like I'd like to see her back. Like don't have her like like bring her back. She was great in Black Bag this past year. I always smile when she pops up in a movie. Anything else you guys want to touch upon?
I want to see like unlike the last one, right? 28 years later, which I only saw once, right? I had no desire to see that multiple times just because it was just so overstimulating, right? With the way Danny approached the visual stylings. This one, I actually can't wait to go back and see it, right? And I want to see it in a theater with people, right? I want to see their reaction to it.
Yeah, I guess I'll add that I like this approach to a franchise where they, like, even if it does mean that they basically plan on making these forever, like, at this point I'm cool with it because the last couple have been good. I like this approach where you have little side stories, you have different characters that come in and out, and they don't tie into, like, the main plot necessarily, but they build the world. I think that's a cool approach to a long-running franchise like this.
And as you said, Katie, like this is a middle movie, but it does feel like its own movie, like beginning, middle, and end, like it's its own, stands on its own 2 feet. And it really does, for me, enrichen the last movie even more. Like, it makes the last one even better for me. I'm very excited to see what Alex and Danny come up with this last chapter in this 28 years trilogy now.
And then maybe, hopefully, if we put out to the universe, Nia just finishes out the trilogy. Like, just give it to her.
It'd be cool, but everything runs through Danny. This is it's his thing.
Well, maybe he's listening. Danny, take a nap. Your time is over. You've done enough, man. You've done enough.
I like Danny Boyle. I think he's one of our great filmmakers. But like, if you're for the next one, I hope it's more like Shallow Grave and Train Spotting, where it's stylized, but like not fucking overtly stylized. Like even the 28 Days Later, it was stylized, but not like that. Because 28 years, I was just like, man, you forgot to take your Ritalin today, man. Like, calm down, man.
Yeah, that camera was buzzing. It's true.
Yeah, right? Katie, anything else you want to add?
No, I just did really I liked 28 Years Later. So, I had decently high expectations for this one, but it was better than I expected. I really liked it.
Same.
Yeah.
I wish this was coming out like in June. Like, I feel like the first one should have came out in like March, April, and then like this one should have dropped during the summer, because I feel like this one would play well during the summer more than the first one did.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a bigger thing, where it used to be that January was where you dumped the movies that you didn't know what else to do with. But in recent years, some pretty strong like genre movies in particular have been coming out in January. So I think that's changing.
Yeah, because Katie, you said like you take an interest in January movies, and I have a friend, Vice. Vice also loves January. Like, I'm gonna start naming January Big Jerry month, because we always get a Gerard Butler movie, and like listen, I like Greenland Migration. I'm like the only person who likes that movie, and I do like Den of Thieves Pantera from last January, and I do like Plane. So like, I'm always looking forward to the Big Jerry action movie that we get in January. So like, I mean, I'm trying to think what else is coming out in the next couple of weeks. I guess Mercy, which I'm just like, ooh boy. And
I mean, we have Night Patrol.
Send Help.
Yeah, Send Help. I was gonna say new Sam Raimi movie.
Yes, and it looks just what I want from Sam Raimi. Yeah, not Multiverse of Madness. I'm like the only person who hates that movie.
Like, you're not the only one who hates Multiverse of Madness. Everybody who worked on that movie hates Multiverse of Madness. They just don't realize it.
If Send Help ends up being as awesome as I think it is, I'm just like, any talented filmmaker should just not sign up for Marvel. You know what I mean? Just let that be for like other types of filmmakers, and not like people I respect.
Or it's that whole entire ex-boyfriend, ex-partner dynamic, where you do the Marvel movie and just so you can do a better movie afterwards, where you can actually, yeah.
Yeah, because it's sad that I'm like, oh, Ryan's got to do. I keep forgetting. I'm like, oh yeah, Ryan has to do Black Panther 3 to wrap up the trilogy. Even though like I'm just like, man, after Sinners, I'm like, man, I just want you to be the Black Christopher Nolan for me, where you just like, hey, I want to make a movie. I need 200 mil, and they're like, sure, here's the check. Go make your shit. So, anyways, Katie, thank you for coming on. Is there anything you would like to plug?
I have a column on Letterboxd Editorial called Shelf Life that covers restorations and physical media, like new releases on Blu-ray. It's not dead, y'all. It's still around. We're gonna bring that back too, along with Humanity.
Physical media.
And
yeah.
I'm on all the socials at Rife with Katie is my handle.
we talk about, well, at least I do. I talk about social media. Not social media, physical media a lot on this podcast. I'm always talking about a 4K Blu-ray. I'm always nerding out about, and I see Jeff just sitting there like, oh, I gotta listen to this nigga talk about a fucking.
Look, I like physical media as much as the next person. It's just I only have a finite amount of space.
Oh yeah, look, my bedroom is just nothing but books and 4K Blu-rays just stacked everywhere. So it's getting out of hand, but also like streaming is the Wild West because, you know, there's stuff that you might never see again if you don't buy it. Yeah. So, Katie, I hope you come back. We'll get you on for another one. You could pick whatever movie you want.
I would love that. This was a really great conversation. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for being here, Katie.
Yeah.
Thank you. And that is episode 193.
We're the Film Blurs. I'm Brandon Norwood, and I'm the motherfucking protagonist.
I'm the protagonist.
I'm Jeff Stewart, a.k.a. He Who Remains.
Don't come at us. It's just fucking movies. You've been listening to the Film Blurs podcast.
Man, I just love what you guys do, man.
I never miss an episode. It's the best. It's my favorite podcast.
Follow Jeff on IG on MindFireXL and Brandon on Twitter at BJN Tweets.